Hello, my name's STQ. I'm continuing on with my Dungeons & Dragons Red Book Rules copyright 1980 solo campaign-adventure project. In the last video, I was working on the things to do list, and Turtle interrupted me. So pretty much the list creation is done, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to change up. I'm going to redo the vampire storyline data sheet. So let's see here. Wrong one. Right one. Okay. Okay. I'm going to change things out a little bit. Since the primary focus is the vampire, let's see here. HD7. And you're expert, so that's taken care of. Normal bat, giant vampire bat. That's basic. Yeah. Actually, wouldn't have. One dog. I use asterisk that this need to be changed anyways. Okay. Let's see here. Normal rat, giant rat, normal wolf. Yeah. Uh, well, we got the idea. Okay, now okay. As I mentioned earlier in previous videos, on multiple videos, the vampire storyline is not being pursued. It is, the vampire storyline requires a certain amount of data that I need to have in order to create the vampire. And so I'm creating data sheets from scratch. This campaign is completed from scratch. I have zero. I have Dungeon Master in the past, but I don't have any data to work with, any data sheets. So everything that I'm creating here is a first-time generation. The concepts, the data sheets that I'm generating right now, I had conceived back in 1984 and 1985, but I have never been able to pursue that project. Let's see here. Redo vampire storyline. on the things to do lists. So this list is not listed in priorities. It's not listed in yeah. It's just a list of what I need to do. And when I get to it, I scratch it off. When I don't, I get to it when I get to it. For example, this Neanderthal leadership deal is not anywhere in the hit dice 2 monsters. I have no, at this time, I don't concede Neanderthal being part of the adventure module for them that I'm creating, that I want to create. Well, wanting to create that I plan on creating. How do I describe that? Depending on what language you're speaking, it has different contexts. Okay. I have no preconceived storyline. I have no preconceived environmental setting. And I have no preconceived notion of which monsters are going to be in my first adventure module. Other than they're going to be the adventure module. Excuse me for yawning. Other than the adventure module, which is what I'm referring to as the adventure storyline, first adventure storyline, as being primarily under one hit dice monsters. So, and already working with the Norman Bat, we came up with a vampire. We have, and then the giant centipedes, and so there are other monsters that can come up with additional lists. Killer bees attract robber flies, and that attracts giant shrews. So there's an ecology there. Because the giant bees are insects and giant shrews eat insects, there are other giant insects like the cave locusts and stuff like that can be in the have their own ecology separate from the vampire ecology. So the under one hit dice monster storyline can have spawn multiple things. And by doing that, coming up with we can come up with how are these environments related to each other, how close are they to it, and how we can do that. The vampire storyline has there are multiple takes on how to do the vampire storyline in relation to the giant bats and giant vampire bats. And we can even forego the vampire storyline altogether. So, vampire monsters. So there is, right now I'm just trying to see what kind of diversity is available by creating the monster ecology, the environmental system monster lists, monster data. The environmental system monster data sheets are to help me to see what kind of who's related to who, and what combinations do I want to work with or don't want to work with. There we go. Now you noticed on the hit dice, I got hit dice 0, 1 HP. Hit dice 7 and I don't have any HPs. When I do a half hit dice monster, it'd be 1 to 4 HP. That is following the procedures of the basic and expert rules. Within that's what the basic, and so that's what I'm doing here. Okay. There you can see that. So Now I'm bringing in were-rats and werewolves because they can be part of the wolf group, the animal group. You have within some vampire movies, werewolves are werewolf and vampires are linked together. Can't write and talk at the same time anymore. I'm going bye-bye. Okay. There we go. So within this campaign, the campaign goes from the player character development goes from level 1 to level 9. So all the monsters are included in this campaign in both monster lists. So so level basic character classes will encounter expert monsters. And expert character classes will encounter basic monsters. Now, while I was doing the Bake Me campaign with the basic, expert, companion, and master rules, and immortal rules, the immortal rules does not take place on the game world, on these game rules. The immortal, you don't see the book. The immortal rules do not deal with this game world. You're in an alternate reality. Your player character is basically a deity, what they call immortals in this game system because of the Christians. And so you have immortals, and the game says primarily exists outside of this game world. So I don't include immortals. So in that campaign, basic level characters could encounter companion monsters, expert monsters, companion monsters, and master monsters. Would all coexist in the same area. Now, even though I've listed all the undead monsters, not all of them will be, maybe some or none may be present within the vampire storyline. Although what I have done is that the vampire bat, the giant vampire bat, when they kill somebody and they turn into undead, if the person is a human, they will turn into a zombie. And if they are half human, or demi-human, dwarf, elf, halfling, they would turn into a ghoul. Alternatively, I could create a new undead monster that's different from the but also it says if the expert rules are used, the character would turn into a vampire. So there are options. Okay. Finally got that done. So things to do lists. Campaign parameters. I was going to put, see what game mode parameters, game mode size, a hex map, orientation, and then vampire storyline. That'll be on monster settings. Nope. Environmentals. There we go. Monster settings. And that's it for this video.